Okay, I'm making this video today on replacing the charge port with the flex cable and the headphone jack. It's a common problem for repair people or anybody opening up their phone to accidentally bend those tiny little prongs that make connection with the home button. I don't know if you can see that, those two prongs there. After many attempts to bend those back, I cannot get them to line up, and they have to touch those two gold pads there. Why won't this thing be in focus? Anyway, so I'm going to show you how to replace that. Okay, to save time, I'm going to try and do this without taking the screen all the way off, but instead prop it up. Alright, if we do anything, we want to disconnect the battery. Have to take this plate off to get to it. The charge port is also plugged in under this plate. It's a good idea to use a magnet like I've got here, these business card sized magnets, and I place these screws in a pattern so that I know where they came from. It's very important in iPhones that every screw goes back in the same place that it came from. If you put it in the wrong place, it's likely that you could do damage to the logic board and have to do some micro soldering and some added parts and time. So I like to use my fingers to unplug these things. A lot of times tools can cause further damage. You have to be real careful in plugging everything. This little antenna plugged in right here has a little bit of glue on it, which is weird. The other models don't have glue, so I'm not sure why Apple decided to use glue on this one. But it's on there good. The glue's holding. Glue's grabbed it. It's unplugged, but the glue's not letting go. There we go. Let's see if I can get that glue out of the way. It's like rubber cement. You gotta be careful messing around by the logic board though. I could damage it. You know, if I knocked off the other end of that connector, we'd have some more repairs to do. Alright, now I'm going to want to keep track of these screws like I said with that magnet, and I'm going to take out these 7 screws. And put them in a pattern. These are all different sizes. I mean, not all, but these top two are long, and these short ones here are different, so you definitely don't want to mess those around. Swap them. So I'm putting them in a pattern just like they came out to help me know to put them back right. Alright, now I'm going to pull the speaker assembly out. It's kind of just stuck in there on top of the charge port, and it has cable from the charge port wrapped up around it, which I need to get off. I'll probably go ahead and try that. Got to separate glued down, and the new one that we put in will have a new one of these to glue down, and this is actually the problem. This is why I'm having to change this out, but with that unstuck I should be able to lift this right out. Now with that out of the way, I can begin pulling up the glue here under the flex cable get this one out. One screw left. Didn't see that one. There we go, it's out. Those are the problem. So now to put the new one in. Alright, this little rubber thing is over the microphone, and we need to reuse that. So we're going to pull that off, stick it on our new one. We got some double-sided sticky tape here to hold it on a little better. Alright. Get a loop down in there, that microphone. Everything has to be bent into the right shape for it to fit in there, like this piece here. There we go. Then got to make sure that this cable flex for the tabs is bent properly and up against the side and out of the way to put the speaker in. Go ahead and stick that down. I think I can go ahead. Well, no, let's do this first. Starting to wish maybe I'd taken that screen off all the way. There we go. And that one holds all that stuff, the headphone jack, into place. Wasn't looking good until that screw went in. Alright. So now let's make sure this lines up right. It's going to go on those little dots. There's holes through this part and there's pegs on here. So I'm just making sure that they can line up before I pull that double-sided sticky tape backing off. And we're looking good, so excuse me. I want to be careful and not touch those prongs. You don't want to bend them, for one. They're really easy to bend, and for two, you don't want the oils from your skin on it. You want it to stay clean as it can be. Now we got to run this little wire through here. Now these little clips here, I've pulled off the end before, off the logic board. It's real easy to do, and it's also easy to crush the end of the connector that's on the logic board. If you don't have it lined up just right and push down, it will definitely bend that thin little metal. Take your time with it. It can get frustrating. It's not wanting to cooperate. Alright, it's on there. So now I want to pull the backing on this. Actually, make sure it lines up. Go ahead and plug it in. That flex cable's pushing it that way, and so if I would have stuck it down, the two ends of the plug would not have lined up. So I'm trying to figure out right now where I need to bend that flex cable so that it's the right distance, allowing me to get this plug to go together. Again, with these plugs, you also do not want to press hard if you don't know that you've got it directly on. So that was pretty hard to line up. I got it lined up, and you can see the bend in here. So I need to try and crease it where I'll need it to lay. Okay, so I'll pull the backing off and stick it down. Good idea to plug it in first and then stick it down if you can. Alright. I'll close it up and do some testing before I put that last shield back on over the battery in case something went wrong or I need to do some more work. Just let it boot up. Alright, well, we already know the home button works. I just pressed it and it came to life. What is this client's passcode? Alright, let's open an app and see if we can close it. Not now. Here we go. Fix the home button issue. Before we could press it and nothing would happen, so it's working well. And that's how you fix the bent prongs on a home button. Basically, change out the charge port and the earphone jack right here. And I'll test those here in a second, but I believe they're going to be okay as well. Let's go ahead and plug it into the port and see. Yep, it's registering and it's charging. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching.